Good morning, everyone. My name is Tony DeLeon. I am the District Logistics Manager. Welcome to the 2020 Spring District Council meeting. It's my pleasure to introduce your District 4 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kitsi Alvarez.
Thank you, Tony, and welcome everyone. This 2020 spring meeting of the District 4 Council will now come to order. Good morning, members of the District Council, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. In accordance with Toastmasters International policy and procedures, the District 4 Council meets twice a year. In the fall, we must meet virtually. In the spring, we typically meet in person at the annual district conference to conduct district business and ratify actions taken by the District Executive Committee. Due to shelter in place, we are meeting virtually today in accordance with Toastmasters International guidelines. Among other business, the District Council will elect new district officers for the 2020-21 Toastmasters year and will approve the realignment of clubs amongst divisions and areas in order to comply with Toastmasters guidelines for district organization. The meeting packet, which includes the agenda and documents that will be voted on, was emailed to all voting members last night and has been posted on our website since May 2nd at d4tm.org/business. Please open this file now to reference during the meeting. Our tech chair for this meeting will be Katrina Myers. To begin, Katrina will review the technical guidelines for today's meeting, including discussion and voting procedures. Katrina?
Thank you, Kitsy. Everyone will be muted unless you've been recognized by the chair to speak. Please do not turn on your video unless requested by the chair, and this saves time. Video will not be turned on for participants during discussions or questions. You will just be unmuted. Also, please rename yourself as follows: your full name and then an abbreviated of your role. So if you're a president, you put PRES. If you're a VPE, VPE, area director, division director, etc. And this will help us when we're identifying you while you're getting ready to speak. The other thing is, when you're going to ask a question to help our chat monitor keep up with requests to speak and questions, please do not chat everyone unless you're wanting to be recognized by the chair. So don't chat me or Kitsy or any of the other speakers. We're not going to be monitoring the chat. Gavin Schultz is our chat monitor. Please do not send a chat to, like I said, to anyone unless you're sending it to Gavin. You can send it to everyone if you're wanting to speak. Include the name of your club and a brief description of your motion, question, or comment. The reason why we're having you rename yourself with your position is so you don't have to type that into the chat. You would just, for example, if I was going to speak, I would just type in my club name, and then if I wanted to speak for or against a motion, or if I wanted to make a motion, and then the chair would recognize me, and then I would be able to be unmuted and speak. When discussing motions, we will alternate between comments for and against. So it's really important you don't just say, I want to talk on this topic, but you actually tell us what you want to talk about. We recommend viewing this meeting in gallery view. Once we're done sharing our slides, that's the best way to view this meeting. To switch to gallery view, click on the small 3x3 grid icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. To show only the speaker on your screen next to your video to hide the non-video participants, click the little caret symbol next to where it says Start Video, and then you'll click on Video Settings. And then you'll click the checkbox next to where it says Hide Non-Video Participants. And just a reminder, please do not share your video during this meeting. Thank you. To vote, if you are a club president or vice president or a member of the district executive committee, and you pre-registered by yesterday at 6 p.m. on Eventbrite for this meeting, you should have received 3 separate emails this morning with links to vote. Do not open them now to vote. You were going to vote later. These were sent from District 4 Toastmasters via Election Buddy. Please check your spam if you don't see them, or the promotions tab of your email if you can't find them immediately right now. If you have any questions or need anything, you can't find them, you need to email parley@d4tm.org. That's PARLI@d4tm.org. Remember, as per the election rules, you must have pre-registered by 6 p.m. yesterday in order to count for quorum and receive your ballots. You will only be allowed to use each ballot once, so please vote carefully when it is time to vote. District Director Kitsy will call for the vote, and you can vote during that time. After voting has ended, we will progress with the meeting while the final votes are being tabulated, and we'll announce the results before the end of the meeting. Again, please do not go vote now. We are only using Election Buddy ballots for contested elections and items that require secret ballots. For other topics, we will use the voting feature in Zoom. To access these features, click the participants icon at the bottom bar of your Zoom window. That will open a sidebar which lists the participants in this meeting. At the bottom of that sidebar will be icons that say yes or no. Please only vote when instructed to do so, and we will keep a record of the final tally before clearing the votes and moving on to the next order of business. During the district leader election process, it may be necessary for us to conduct another order of business while the votes are being counted, and these are the Election Buddy votes. This is because candidates who have been evaluated by the district leadership committee for other roles may run for another position. If they do not win their first election, it is critical that you do not vote for positions until you are directed to do so by our district director, Kitsy Abalez. To recap, if you have any technical issues with Zoom during this meeting, you can reach out to me via the private chat, or you can email me. And if you have any issues with your ballots, please reach out to parley@d4tm.org. Now I'd like to turn the meeting back over to our district director, Kitsy Abeles. Kitsy?
Thank you, Katrina. It is supporting this meeting today, including our District 4 Administration Manager, Shanta Mohan, documenting the meeting, and our District 4 parliamentarian, Catherine Pratt, ensuring that we have an orderly meeting using parliamentary procedure. I also like to introduce our timer, Lauren Burton, who will display her video with timing cues during the report. So she'll do that when the time comes. At this time, I'd like to introduce our administration manager, Shanta Mohan, to read the district mission. Shanta? And we can go to the next slide.
We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Madam District Director.
Thank you, Shanta. Our district mission, along with our core values of respect, integrity, service, and excellence, guide us throughout the year when leading our district to support our clubs and members, including the work that we do during this district council meeting today. So thank you everyone for participating in this process today. Next, we will determine if we have a quorum, which is the minimum number of votes to conduct business. You may fill out the numbers for the determination of quorum on page 2 of your handout. This handout can also be found at d4tm.org/business. The chair recognizes our credentials chair, logistics manager, and past district governor, Tony DeLeon, for their credentials report.
Madam District Director, as per Toastmasters International policy regarding virtual meetings, all voting members must be pre-registered for the virtual meeting in order to vote, and no proxies are allowed. As of the deadline, which was yesterday, Friday the 15th at 6 p.m., here are the numbers. The total number of clubs total number of clubs eligible to vote is 117. The total number of club votes possible is 234. The number of votes needed for quorum is 1/3 of the total votes, which is 78. And the actual votes from our district executive committee is 35. Madam District Director, I'm happy to report that we have 116 club votes. Therefore, we have a quorum today. Yay!
Thank you, Tony. And yes, congratulations, Tony, and all of us for establishing quorum. All right, the next order of business, I would like to introduce our district parliamentarian and past district director, distinguished Toastmaster Catherine Pratt, to summarize the proposed meeting rules as shown on page 3 of the meeting handout. The rules have also been posted on d4tm.org since April 8th. Catherine?
Fellow Toastmasters, as prescribed by Toastmasters International, District 4 conducts its business using Robert's Rules of Order. The use of parliamentary procedure comes down to 3 things. We consider one item at a time, the majority rules, and the minority has the right to be heard. Here's a summary of the rules that are listed on page 3 of your handout. 1, any new motions that are to come before the district council had to be submitted to parley@d4tm.org 3 weeks prior to this business meeting, and that was 5 p.m. on Saturday, April 25th. 2, debate on one item will be limited to no more than 10 minutes. The chair may extend the time to ensure fairness and completeness. And in a virtual meeting, a member must type in the chat if they wish to be recognized using the directions that were given by our tech chair, Katrina Myers. During discussion, the maker of the motion will be given the opportunity to speak first. All speakers will be limited to 1 minute each time they have the floor, but no member who has already spoken once on an issue will be allowed to speak a second time until all of those who wish to speak have spoken for a first time. And we will be alternating for and against statements. You must state the name of your club, area, division that you're representing when you indicate in the chat that you want to speak, and you should already be renamed here in Zoom to show your position. As a reminder, you had to have pre-registered. That gave you your credentials. Only district members who are pre-registered may participate in the meeting, and that means club presidents, club VPEs, voting members of the district executive council. Participation is defined as voting, asking questions, participating in discussion, and making motions. Before addressing the assembly, please wait to be recognized by our district director. You may type your question into the chat box so that we can address it. And when doing this, please, again, state the name of the club you represent. Let's have a great meeting. Madam District Director.
Thank you, Catherine. Without objection, the meeting rules will be adopted as written on page 3 of the meeting handout. Are there any questions or discussions? As a reminder, please type your club name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. Gavin, can you confirm you have not received any questions or comments? Thank you. Seeing no objections, the meeting rules are adopted. The next order of business is the agenda. The full agenda has been posted on D4TM for over 2 weeks, and a summary appears on the slide. Without objections, the agenda will be adopted as shown on page 1 of the meeting handout. Are there any questions or discussions? Please type your club name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. Seeing no objections, the agenda is adopted. Next order of business is the report on the approval of the minutes of the virtual district council meeting of September 10th, 2019, which appears on pages 4 to 7 of the meeting handout. The chair recognizes committee chair, past district director, distinguished Toastmaster Noemi Gonzalez for this report. We can turn off the slides at this time.
Thank you, Madam District Director. The committee reviewed the meeting minutes of the Fall District Council meeting, and the committee finds that the minutes presented on pages 4 to 7 does represent the activities in the order of business presented on September 10th, 2019. That is my report, and back to you, Madam District Director.
Thank you, Noemi. Because the meeting minutes were approved by committee, there is no requirement for council approval at this meeting. The meeting minutes will be filed by the administration manager. The chair appoints distinguished Toastmaster Carol Fenwick to chair a committee of at least 3 members to review the minutes from today's district council meeting. I see that we had a question about bio breaks. We will have some breaks throughout where it's the more natural in the meeting because things will move a little bit differently. So we will definitely have some time when we're voting where we'll take some breaks and then we'll kind of go from there. Thank you for the question. The next order of business is the finance report. The report can be found on pages 6 and 7 of your handout. It will be presented by our district finance manager, Natasha Baker-Straight. Upon completion of report, please address any questions through me as the chair, and don't forget to type in the chat with your club name and your question. Natasha?
Natasha, you're muted.
There we go.
Hi, I was dialed in with my phone audio, so I'm going to hope you don't hear an echo.
Nope, you're good.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. All right, I'm going to give a brief overview of how our finances are doing, first through the first half of the year through December, and then continuing through the third quarter through March. Through the first half of the year, everything was looking very solid. We were, in fact, a little bit over our revenue goals by holding 2 TLIs in the first half of the year, and we had some targeted efforts to support earlier renewals, which went very successfully. In terms of expenses, we were also under budget, a little bit more than we might have expected. We only spent about 52% of what we budgeted for across expenses. About 10,000 of that, the variance there is from education and training. We don't see clubs renewing their incentives in the timing that we expected, and then just overall just having lower costs than we anticipated. Along with about 7,000 of that from marketing. Again, fewer clubs are chartering and just spending less money than we expected. And then lastly, the last major contributor there is about $3,000 for travel. It's just not needing the travel budget that we anticipated we would by that point. So overall, we finished the first half of the year in a positive light. We were about 22,000 under budget where we expected at that point. Favorable to budget, just to clarify. And then if we look through the third quarter of our Toastmasters year, I think there's no surprises here that we are massively under budget across the board. In terms of revenue, we spent about 13,000 less than we budgeted, or we brought in 13,000 less than budgeted. So we only brought in about 81% of where we expected to be. And that's mostly because we're seeing a lag about $9,000 due to membership. We originally had that positive variance come in February with early renewals again, but then we saw a big drop in March with shelter-in-place orders. So we'll have to be monitoring that to see how things go through the last few months of this year. Similarly, we didn't see the revenue we expected through speech contests, as we did not collect payments for any virtual speech contests. And then any revenue we expected through TLI was offset because the TLI was canceled for February since we couldn't find a location. And then, of course, we continued to see a lot of expenses not come through that we anticipated for this quarter. Marketing was off by about 12,000 because we planned to start about 30 new clubs. And obviously, we're not going to hit that with clubs being delayed due to shelter in place. Similarly, with education and training, we're about $12,000 off where we expected for expenses. Again, primarily due to clubs not renewing their district incentives. So this is a good reminder for you. If you have district incentive credit out there, please do take a look and see if you'd like to redeem that. And then the last two contributors to that is just about $5,000 for travel, sort of continuing the trend from the first two quarters. And then, of course, due to shelter-in-place orders, our district team is not simply needing the travel budget we allocated for that. And we expect that to continue for the last few months as well. In wrap-up, we'll be continuing to monitor how our membership renewals and chartering of new clubs is going and how it's impacted by shelter-in-place. Obviously, contests and conference revenue and expenses are no longer going to be a factor. And as I mentioned, district travel is going to continue to be greatly reduced, along with probably some relevant administrative costs as well. Thank you very much, and we'll open it for any questions.
Thank you, Natasha. Are there any questions? Please type your club name and question or comment in the chat at this time. And I will pause for that. As a reminder, as the chair, I'm not monitoring chat or emails right now. Please address those to Katrina or Gavin. All right, I see no questions for the finance report, manager. So thank you, Natasha. And the finance report will be filed subject to audit. Next order of business is the mid-year audit committee report. Please welcome, this report can be found on pages 8 through 9 in your handout. The district for mid-year financial audit has already been filed and accepted by Toastmasters International headquarters as per the rules of Toastmasters International. If you have any questions or comments, please hold them until after the report and address them to me as the chair. Please welcome Audit Committee Chair, President of Evening Stars, and Distinguished Toastmaster Gavin Schultz. Gavin?
Thank you, Madam District Director. It is my pleasure to provide this mid-year audit report on behalf of the District 4 Audit Committee. The role of the Audit Committee is to provide independent and objective oversight of district funds. We verify that they are spent in accordance with the mission and governing documents of Toastmasters International. The mid-year audit reviewed the district's financial records for the period of July 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. During our audit, we noted that all financial records were well organized and we were ably assisted by the finance manager in conducting a thorough audit. The committee made 2 recommendations as a result of our audit. First, we recommend that individual expenses in excess of $500 USD be authorized in writing in advance by the district director and at least one of the program quality director or club growth director. This is consistent with Toastmasters International policy guidance, although in some previous audits, we have offered different guidance, but we clarified with Toastmasters International this year, and this is the recommendation going forward for these expenses. Second, we recommend that the district finance manager repeat the same audit preparations for the upcoming year-end audit in July, and that they also ably train their successor to do the exact same kind of audit preparations for the audit committee next year. In closing, the committee would like to thank the District 4 Finance Manager, Natasha Baker-Strite, for her commitment to the district in the maintenance of complete and accurate financial records. We also thank Tony De Leon for his hospitality in hosting the audit, and our District Director, Kitsi Aviles, for her work organizing the Audit Committee's membership. I encourage everyone to read the Audit Committee's full report on pages 10 and 11 of the business packet. And with that, thank you very much, and I can take any questions.
Thank you, Gavin. Are there any questions, which you'll get? All right, seems there's no questions. Is that correct, Gavin? You seeing anything on your end? All right. Hearing no questions, thank you. The mid-year report will be filed in accordance with Toastmasters International retention policies. We are now moving on to new business. During new business, you will need to use the ballots that were emailed to all district council members who registered by 6 p.m. last night. These emails came from District 4 Toastmasters via Election Buddy, titled with the name of the item we are voting on, followed by vote when instructed. If you do not have these ballots, please check your spam folders right now and send an email to parley@d4tm.org immediately so they can help you resolve it before the first vote. That's parley@d4tm.org. The first item of business is to ratify those district officers that have been appointed since the last district council meeting of September 10th, 2019, to replace officers who had to step down. These are Mayor Repetto, who was appointed as Area D6 Director on October 2019, Annie He, who was appointed as Division E Director in January 2020, and Janet Sotheby, who was appointed as Area D1 Director in February 2020. The chair will entertain a motion to ratify the appointment of these officers. The chair recognizes Public Relations Manager Stephen Chin.
Thank you, Madam District Director. I move to ratify the district officers that have been appointed since the last district council meeting of September 10th, 2019.
Thank you, Stephen. Is there a second? You can just type it in the chat if you want to second this. Thank you, Stuart. It has been moved and seconded to ratify the district officers appointed since the last district council meeting of September 10th, 2019. Is there any discussion or questions? Please type your club name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. Seeing no questions or discussion, we will now vote on the pending motion to ratify the district officers appointed since the last district council meeting of September 10th, 2019. For this vote, we will use the yes and no feature in Zoom. If you are not a voting member, you are marked with an asterisk. Please refrain from voting in this issue as your vote will not be counted. Voting members, please follow the instructions on your screen to vote now. From the bottom bar, click the participants icon to display the participant list, if not already showing. Then click the yes or no button underneath the participant list. All in favor, please click the yes button now. All opposed, please click the no button now. I will pause here to allow for the votes to come in. All right, last call for votes. It's okay to abstain if you don't wish to vote. I just want to make sure that those who do have a chance. So please vote now. Click yes or no. All right. For the record, for the minutes, it's unanimous. With 102 casted votes of yes and 103 now, and no votes. The ayes have it, and the recently appointed officers are ratified. Congratulations. Katrina, you can clear the votes. Thank you. The next order of new business is the District 4 alignment for 2020-2021. Before we start, I want to state that this is a tedious process and countless hours of work have been devoted by the committee to put together this alignment. We are grateful for the committee's work, led by Aubrey Carrier, past district director. The results were presented and accepted by the district executive committee on March 7th. The proposed alignment was then published on the district website for our members to review. As the alignment is presented, please note that the alignment does not affect your day-to-day operations of your club. Instead, it's focused on assuring more balanced areas and divisions. There are some proposed amendments to the alignment that was presented to the District Executive Committee. You were emailed the proposed amended alignment along with the meeting packet last night. Please check your email now to pull that up. The amendments were made due to new information, such as the suspension of clubs and the need to rebalance some of the areas to account for some clubs which have not yet renewed after the April 30th extended deadline. I respectfully ask that unless there is an egregious condition, we stay with the alignment and amendments printed on our handouts. The chair now recognizes Alignment Committee Chair, distinguished Toastmaster and past district director and president of Stage Show Speakers 325 Market, Aubrey Carrier, to present the alignment. Aubrey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Alignment is all about keeping our District 4 neighborhoods healthy and functional. Every year, District 4 rebalances clubs into areas and divisions to accommodate changes due to clubs that close, new clubs that charter, and some clubs that may move locations. This process is called alignment. Please refer to page 13 in your handout for an overview of the realignment process. I was assisted in this process by my fellow committee members, all distinguished Toastmasters, past district directors Noemi Gonzalez and Catherine Pratt, and past District Governor Tony De Leon. To create the alignment, our committee considered the following criteria: guidelines from Toastmasters International Protocol 7.0, geographical locations of clubs that are near each other but still at a healthy social distance, a balance of aspiring clubs that are working to add members and strong clubs that already have a high level of membership, workload for the area director, and minimizing disruption to the existing area and division. In January, the committee prepared a draft alignment, which was amended and approved by the District Executive Council on March 7th. Currently, District 4 has 5 divisions: A and B on the peninsula, C, D, and E in San Francisco. The most significant change for next year is that we propose a new neighborhood, the new Division F, to be located on the peninsula between the current divisions A and B to accommodate new club growth in that vicinity. I move that we create a new division called Division F to be located between the current divisions A and B.
Thank you, Aubrey. It's been moved that we create a new division called Division F to be located between the current divisions A and B. Because this was moved by committee, it does not require a second. Are there any questions or discussion? Please type your club name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. Please limit your questions and comments to the motion at hand, which is whether or not to add the new division. We will discuss the rest of the alignment at a later time in this meeting. I see a question on the chat. I know Gavin's still processing, but yes. Do we have a map to show the suggested new border? Yes, it's on d4tm.org/business. You will see a link to the proposed map there. Any other questions? Seeing no further questions, the motion on the floor is to create a new division called Division F to be located between the current Division A and B. This motion needs a majority vote to pass. We are now going to use our voting platform, Election Buddy, to vote. Please access your email from District 4 Toastmasters via Election Buddy titled Approval of Addition of Division F. Vote when instructed. Only District Council members who have pre-registered have this email. Go ahead and log in with your special code. Remember that in addition to your special code, you will need a password, and everyone's password is D4TM, all capital letters, and it is case sensitive. Please vote now. We will take a few minutes while our members are voting. This is a great time to also take a bio break, although we'll have an official one in a little bit. I am going to go vote myself. If you're having problems voting, please email parley@d4tm.org for assistance. That's PARLI@d4tm.org. And Stephanie will field your questions. To clarify, at this time, we are only voting on the addition of Division F. If you're having any difficulties with your ballots, finding them, using them, please email parley@d4tm.org and they will assist you. We are going to move on to the next item of business, but the voting will continue. So if you're having trouble, don't worry, we will not close officially the vote just yet. But we will continue with the rest of the meeting while the rest of the votes come in and they are counted. Again, if you have any problems, parley@d4tm.org can help you. All right, because we cannot progress with the alignment discussion. Oh, turn my video back on and I think we can hide the slide. Perfect. Thank you, Katrina. She is so on it. Because we cannot progress with the alignment discussion until we have the results from our previous vote, which will take a little while as some of you are still voting, which is perfectly fine. We will move on to the next order of business, which is the election of our district officers, starting with the top 4. Please welcome District Leadership Committee Chair, immediate past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Stephanie Chow for her report, which we can find on page 11. Stephanie?
Hello, everyone from Denver, Colorado. I do not have a song for you, but I have fantastic news with my District Leadership Committee report. As Kitsi mentioned, you can find that in the business meeting packet on page 20. The District Leadership Committee first met on February 29th to interview the initial set of candidates for the 2020-21 leadership term. The committee consisted of equal representation across all of the divisions in District 4 and also comply with other requirements from Toastmasters International. We have nominated the individuals you are about to witness getting elected or being up for election. You can also see the full list of names in my report. All the division director candidates have been evaluated to run for any division, but they have selected the division that they are officially running for. Again, in the report, you'll also see that there are a few individuals who have been nominated for roles and have either chosen not to run for those roles anymore, or they are nominated for multiple roles, having been in a contested election and then potentially dropping to that role if they do not get elected. Let's see. Some of the interviews did take place on Zoom video conferencing after that initial February 29th set of interviews. And fortunately, or hopefully, the Division F will be approved so that we can elect a division director for that region. That is all I have for my district leadership committee report. Thank you for choosing on me to continue serving, even though I'm all the way over here in a different time zone. And please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you for continuing to serve and advise me from a distance, even though we're all at a distance right now, so it's perfect. It's like we saw this coming. Any questions or comments for Stephanie's report? Please post in the chat with your club name and question or comment. All right, seeing no questions. Thank you, Stephanie. Per Toastmasters guidelines, nominations from the floor are not allowed during the meeting this year. All candidates had to be evaluated by the district leadership committee ahead of time. Candidates who wish to run for a different role if they should not win the first election have already indicated their intent to run. Therefore, all further nominations are closed at this time. At least one candidate has been nominated for each position. For any contested election, we will vote using the secret ballots sent to you via Election Buddy. An additional voting ballot may be sent to you during the process. While the votes are counted, candidates may have an observer present in the breakout room during the ballot counting for contested elections. For any uncontested elections, we can save time and district funds by dispensing with the secret ballot and instructing our administration manager to cast a single ballot for that candidate. Without objection, the chair will dispense with the secret ballot and instruct the administration manager to cast a single ballot for any candidate for an uncontested office. Are there any questions or discussions about that? Please type your name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. All right, hearing no objections, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the administration manager will cast a single ballot for all contested elections. We will now begin with the elections. Nominated for district director, let me start that again. Nominated by the district leadership committee for district director is distinguished Toastmaster Kalidas Sharulil. District administration manager, please cast a single elective ballot for Kalidas Sharulil for district director. Kalidas, you can turn on your video at this time. Your 2020-2021 district director, distinguished Toastmaster, Kalidas Sharulil. Nominated by the District Leadership Committee for Program Quality Director is Distinguished Toastmaster Timothy Carlisle. District Administration Manager, please cast a single elective ballot for Timothy Carlisle for Program Quality Director. Your 2021 Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Timothy Carlisle. we can bring up the slide at this time, Katrina. Nominated by the District Leadership Committee for Club Growth Director in alphabetical order are distinguished Toastmaster Karsten Mansk and Jennifer Perry-Ruzick. Because we have a contested election and the possibility that a candidate who is not elected can run for another position, we will need to finalize this election for Club Growth Director before we can proceed with the rest of the elections. Each candidate will have a total of 2 minutes to address the assembly, and there is no grace period. The timers will time the 2-minute speeches as follow. And okay, green at 1 minute. If we can have the timer demonstrate. Green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. Please note again that there is no grace period. When the 2 minutes have expired, the tech chair will mute the speaker as soon as the red card is displayed. Candidates will be called to deliver the speeches in alphabetical order by last name and can display their video as well. At this time, can we turn off the slide and welcome our first candidate, Distinguished Toastmaster, Karsten Mansk. Karsten?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam District Director. Dear Toastmasters of District 4, I'm happy to run as candidate for the role of the Club Growth Director. I have served in multiple roles in the district before, and every single role was special to me and helped me to grow in different ways. What all roles had in common was to work with the great people towards the same goals. We are entering uncertain times with COVID-19. Will this impact how Toastmaster meetings will run in the future? This is for sure. This will have an impact on building new clubs and keeping existing clubs strong and healthy. I'm ready for this new challenge and will work with you to achieve our mission. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karsten. You can turn off your video now. And we can turn on Jennifer's video. Please welcome our second candidate for Club Growth Director, Jennifer Perry-Ruzick.
Thank you, Madam District Director. Fellow Toastmasters, think about why you first joined Toastmasters. It was to hopefully improve your skills in public speaking. As Club Growth Director, I will keep that in mind as we go through uncertain times. I will take the knowledge that I use in my job in research to see what is happening, how it's changing, and be able to adjust. I also like to listen to everyone because understanding what the problem is will help in finding the answer to the problem. Sometimes I know that you have to put the Band-Aid fix first before you can have the time to really formulate the long-term goal. And it's something that I have done daily with my automated systems in my research lab. Throughout Toastmasters, I have grown as a leader and have found that using listening and finding the right person can also help. Relationships are forged, and knowing that the right person and the right relationship can add more success than putting in someone who doesn't get along with someone else. So trying to work with everybody and make those goals. I hope that as your Club Growth Director next year, to listen, build better relationships with everybody, that we can create a strong District 4 for the future and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. For this election, we will use our voting platform, Election Buddy. Please access your email from District 4 Toastmasters via Election Buddy titled Club Growth Director Election, Vote when instructed. Only District Council members who pre-registered by 6 p.m. yesterday have these emails. Go ahead and log in with your special code. Remember that you also need to use a password, and the password for everyone is D4TM, all caps. Please vote now. We will take a few minutes while our voting members vote and also use this time as a quick bio break. So we will resume with the next order of business at 10:30, just FYI. Let's go vote. A reminder, if you're having any trouble voting with your ballots, please email parley@d4tm.org. right, welcome back, everyone. If you are still voting, not a problem, continue to vote. And as a reminder, please don't forget to click submit ballot. I also almost made that mistake. You have to verify, then submit for your vote to be counted. So we are going to move on to the next item of business while we wait for the remaining votes and the results are tabulated. We now have the result of our first vote, which was to create a new Division F. The results of the election to add a new division are as follows. Total numbers of votes casted, 93. Majority needed based on the votes casted would be 47. We had 92 votes in favor and 1 vote against. The ayes have it, and we will now add a new Division F in the 2020-21 year. All right, thank you. All right, because we're still waiting for the results of the club growth director election, we cannot continue the elections until that voting is complete. We will continue with the district realignment instead. We can please display the slides again, Katrina. As a reminder, you will find the proposed realignment that was voted on by the DEC on pages 13 through 19. But you also have an amended proposed alignment in your email from last night, which is also posted at d4tm.org/business. The chair recognizes Alignment Committee Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster and Press District Director, Aubrey Carrier, to complete her alignment report. Aubrey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Earlier in the meeting, you heard about alignment changes on the peninsula, and thank you for voting to approve our new Division F. The committee met again in early May to review the March 7th draft, and significant changes were needed to accommodate clubs that were suspended or that have not paid spring dues. These changes include removing areas C6, D6, and F5 and redistributing their clubs to other areas. 2 clubs came out of suspension and were added to areas C2 and E4. And in San Francisco divisions C, D, and E, the alignment of multiple clubs was adjusted due to location, need to balance the areas, and to allow for anticipated growth. The District Executive Council had the opportunity to review the amended alignment and suggest additional changes. There are 2 important points to keep in mind. As Kitsy mentioned earlier, alignment does not affect the day-to-day operations of individual clubs. It is meant to help the district leadership lead and serve the clubs as best they can. Also, we are voting on the alignment that reflects the current state of the district, but the end of the Toastmasters year is still June 30th, and we still expect to see changes between now and then. Additional clubs may close, some prospective clubs may charter. The committee will review any changes that occur and update the alignment as needed between today and June 30th. Won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor? Thank you for your participation in keeping our District 4 neighborhoods strong and healthy. The committee recommends that you accept the District 4 alignment for 2020-2021 as amended.
Thank you, Aubrey. It's been moved that we accept the District 4 alignment for 2020-21 as amended, which again is the PDF that was emailed to you last night. Because this was moved by committee, it does not need a second. The amended alignment, which was emailed to you last night, is what we'll discuss right now. In prior years, we have made motions and voted on each separate division on its own before voting on the alignment as a whole. But that was in person. In order to expedite this process today for the virtual meeting and to save district funds by not sending out 7 different ballots, we are going to discuss and vote on the alignment as a whole. At this time, are there any questions or discussions? Please type your club name and question or comment in the chat and wait to be recognized. As a reminder, that discussion is limited to a total of 10 minutes, and each voting member has a maximum of 1 minute to speak. Our timer, Lauren, will display the green at 30 seconds, yellow at 45 seconds, and the red at 1 minute. And then the text share will mute your speaker, your sound. Carol will also time 10 minutes and let us know when we're close to the end of the discussion. If there's still a lot going on, I might extend that. I will wait at this time for any questions or discussions. So we have a question from the president of Toasters Digest, Anat, asking if basically when does the alignment take effect, now or in July 1st? It is July 1st, Anat. And then are there any further changes before the end of the year? Do those come back to vote? We don't come back to vote, but there are likely to be some changes. That's part of it. I'll let Aubrey answer how that's typically handled.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we do expect further changes before the end of the year, and they do not come back to a vote, but the alignment committee will certainly consult the current district leadership and stakeholders to get their input so we can make the best informed decision.
Any further questions or comments? Okay. I do want to clarify as well for the question about a further vote. We do vote in September at that meeting on that alignment that was submitted to TI. So that's kind of where it comes back around. Forgot about that. Thank you, Kat, for that reminder. All right, I see no further questions or discussion. So the motion on the floor, again, is to accept the amended District 4 alignment for 2020-21 that was emailed to you last night as presented. For this vote, we will once again use our voting platform, Election Buddy. Please access your email from District 4 Toastmasters via Election Buddy title Approval of District Realignment for 2020-21. Vote when instructed. Only District Council members who have pre-registered by 6 p.m. yesterday have these ballots. Go ahead and log in with your special code and remember to use the password that is case sensitive D4TM. We will take a few moments now to vote.
What are you going to do when hip hop goes out?
All right, we are ready to move on. You can turn off the slides at this time. Thank you for voting. We will continue with the meeting as the votes are tabulated for that motion on the alignment. We now have the results of our second vote, the election for Club Growth Director for 2020-2021. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, 1 moment. We are waiting on, actually, Kat, are we able to continue with the PR election then while we wait for the other results?
Let's move on to PR, please.
Okay, perfect. So we're still waiting for the votes on that other one. So we are going to move on to the Public Relations Manager election. Nominated by the District Leadership Committee for Public Relations Manager is Joseph Bressler. District Administration Manager, please cast a single ballot for Joseph Bressler for Public Relations Manager. Your 2021 Public Relations Manager, Joseph Bressler. All right. I think because we are still waiting on the results, which may affect the rest of the elections, we're going to begin.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Are we
You
set?
have it. Yes.
Okay, so hold on. Please stand by. Did you say they're coming, or should I do the reports?
What you have is correct.
Oh, okay. All right, I have the results of the club growth election. Total number of votes cast, 115. Majority needed to win the election based on the votes cast, 58. Votes for Karsten Mansk, 57. Votes for Jennifer Perry-Ruzick, 58. With 58 votes, our next Club Growth Director for 2020-21, Jennifer Perry-Ruzick. You can show your video, Jennifer. Congratulations.
Wow.
All right. So we will now proceed to district officer reports. So we will show slide 30, Katrina. The chair recognizes District 4 Public Relations Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster, Stephen Chin.
Hello. Thank you, Madam District Director. First of all, I'd like to go over our great public relations year in spite of our difficult.
Stephen, your mic is up, so we can't hear you very well. Like if you your mic
Sorry
down,
about that.
Katrina, you can move to the next slide.
First of all, we've actually been able to expand our channels to accommodate the many demands of this year, especially with the shelter in place. And starting with our MailChimp email, we've had to make some rapid changes, and so our email has been our primary communication channel for our district members. And with the new demands of our system, we've had a chance to increase our email open rates by more than 10%, especially in the last couple months. And our audience for MailChimp has increased also by about 10% over the last year. Our meetup, the meetup change in policy that we've had this year of letting the club VP PRs take on event manager status has allowed actually an increase of about more than 20% of the participation in Meetup. And we've been able to increase our Facebook and Twitter followings through more frequent Facebook and Twitter postings. Our District 401 blog, I'm proud to say, has also expanded this year with more than double the blog posts of the previous year. And as usual, our d4tm.org website has been our crown jewel, which pretty much all our channels have pointed to or been pointed to from. So overall, we've had a very good public relations year, even though it's been a difficult Toastmasters year with COVID-19. And for the remainder of the year, I think that the only thing that we're going to do at this point in time is post more blogs and emails, and we'll continue our communication channels, keep them open. And in addition, we will be documenting our best practices for our transition to the new PR manager so that he and his team will have a smooth transition and will be able to build on our current successes. Thank you, Madam District Director.
Thank you, Stephen. Are there any questions for Stephen on his report? If so, please type your club name and your question in the chat. All right, seeing no questions, we will move on. Thank you, Stephen, for your report. And we are also going back to the rest of the elections. I skip our division director, so we'll go back to that. Let's turn our slides off. Thank you very much. All right, now it's time for the division director election, which you can see the names on page 20 of the handout. As a reminder, we have one candidate nominated for each division. Division A, we have Mayor Repetto. Division B, Tuya Bliss. Division C, Rizwana Rahman. Division D, Greg Athis. Division E, Adalberto Padilla. Division F, Mark Prince. We have only one candidate nominated for each division director position. District Administration Manager, please cast a single ballot for the candidates in these uncontested division director elections. Please help me congratulate our 2020-21 division directors, and you are welcome to turn on your cameras at this time. Division A, Mayor Repetto. Division B, Tuya Bliss. Division C, Rizwana Rahman. I meant the candidates. Sorry, just the candidates, turn on your cameras, please. Everyone else, turn them off. Division D, Greg Athis. Division E, Adalberto Padilla. Division F, Mark Prince. Congratulations to our division director-elects. Thank you so much. All right, now we will move on to our Club Growth Director report. We will display that slide. Oh, sorry, yep, sorry. We do have results of another election, so let me do that first. All right, we have the votes for the alignment vote. Total number of votes cast, 114. Majority needed based on the number of votes cast, 58. Votes in favor, 114. Votes opposed, 0. Unanimously, our district alignment for 2020-21 is adopted. Thank you for voting. All right, please welcome our Club Growth Director and Program Quality Director-elect, Tim Carlisle for his report.
Thank you. Can we go to the next slide, please? Here are the numbers. 117 current clubs, 5,805 payments. We still have some work to do. We started 7 clubs to date. We've had 5 that have stopped in the middle of the 4-meeting kickoff process, but we now have a different 5 in the virtual kickoff mix, including a new club that will be started called Laugh Lovers in San Francisco, here in San Francisco for comedy. We've tried different things. LinkedIn marketing, we've had our first corporate club chair. We've done virtual kickoffs using Zoom to do what we could during this unprecedented time. District 4 clubs and members have responded magnificently. I'm very proud of our team. The virtual kickoff process, a total team effort by the club growth team, special thanks to Vidya Kagan for the script, was requested and sent out to Microsoft Teams at Toastmasters International to the executive committee, board of directors, and region advisors worldwide, as well as my fellow club growth directors in the region 2. All were very pleased with it. Theodore Roosevelt said, modified for today, it is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong person stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who actually does strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if they fail, at least they fail while daring greatly, for their place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Thank you. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Tim. Are there any questions? Please post your club name and question in the chat. All right. All right, seeing no questions. Thank you so much, Tim. We will now welcome our Program Quality Director and District Director-elect, Kalidas Cherulil, for his report. Kalidas?
Thank you, Kitsi. This year was a unique one because we had the legacy system phasing out, and we had to make sure that we got everyone on legacy to complete their goals if possible, and the rest of the membership migrate onto pathways. So we started the club officer training season, updating the scripts, and Aubrey Carrier, the past district director, and Vidya Keegan helped me with that, putting together, going through the COT materials, the club officer training materials, and updating it where required. Through the 2 seasons, we actually had a decent attendance rate. The numbers are up there on the screen. I wouldn't read it out for you. Later, we had some educational sessions, of course, starting with the Toastmasters Leadership Institute. We had 2 of them, one in August and another one in November. The third one in February actually had to be canceled because we couldn't find a location that suited the requirements. Later, we had contests, which actually started with the clubs. And the number 34 actually is for the area and the division contest together. We had 34 of them. And we had 3 webinars conducted by awesome speakers and 3 more coming, 3 more in the pipeline. Coming to awards, we had many of our Toastmaster members complete milestones, and the numbers are there on the screen for you. Moving on to the next slide. So far, it has been one big team effort, as Tim said. It has been one team effort, starting with the club members, the club officers, the area directors, the division directors, the district leadership, everything coming together to achieve the common goal we have in sight. Now, this is where we need to just pause and look at where we stand at this point and decide what needs to be done in the next 45 days after today, so that we can get to a place where we achieve the goals set for ourselves and hand it over to the next leadership team at a club level, the area, division, and the district level in a good shape. So if you look at the distinguished club number, 57 is the magical number we need to achieve to become a distinguished district. Of course, the membership numbers also have to be achieved. But then at a club level, 57 is the number. Now on the right side, it shows there is one block which I have highlighted in red, which is the number of clubs which have achieved the specific number of goals. So if you put it together, we know that it actually is much higher than 57. So there are quite a few clubs which are just short of a goal or a member or two to achieve the goals. So that is where we need to look at the to-do list from now and June 30th, which includes submission of all legacy and pathways milestones on Club Central, and reminding all of our members that pathways milestones have to be submitted on Club Central. I'm repeating this because there is still a confusion that once they submit it on Basecamp and it is approved, it carries over. It does not. And the last request I have is, if any of the members have any questions about pathways or legacy, please send out an email to the email IDs given below. That's all from my side. Back to you, Kitsi.
Thank you, Kalidas. Are there any questions on the program quality report? Please type your club name and your question in the chat. All right, seeing no questions, I will now proceed with my district director report. At the beginning of this year, I challenged us to empower each other to grow into a better version of ourselves. How did we do? How did it go? How did you empower others or yourself? Maybe you finished your legacy DTM or earned a pathways level. Or maybe you finally got started on pathways or giving that icebreaker that you were so afraid to give. Maybe you led your club to distinguished status for the first or the 5th time, or you mentored a new member to get over their fear of public speaking and become a leader themselves. No matter your goals, big or small, we are all on a shared journey, even if our paths together are different. As leaders, our goal is to meet members and each other where we are and support each other to achieve our individual goals. Leadership is never easy, and this year has been particularly challenging for all of us as we led through a global pandemic while overcoming our own personal challenges, while sheltering in place and grappling with uncertainty. Personally, I experienced 2 layoffs in the past 6 months, the last of which I'm still working to overcome, but I also empowered myself to get through that, complete a pathways path. And I found comfort in our Toastmasters community. They were there for me to offer support, help, or a sympathetic ear. Although these challenges were unexpected, I appreciate that they only make us more resilient. We all experienced rapid growth as leaders this year because we were tested, we tested our limits, and we persevered through innovation. Toastmasters from all around the world are empowering each other right now to adapt to this new environment. Now we have the chance not only to engage with our own local community and our own local club, but with clubs and Toastmasters members around the world and learn and empower each other. Club meetings still remain the place to practice and hone our communication skills, whether they be in person or virtual, which is a skill we all have to master now that we're all working from home. I'm excited for more innovation as more clubs begin to meet online. As you have already heard of some of the innovations that are being done at the district and local level with online meetings as well as kickoff meetings, and soon our online contest and conference. But as you also heard, the year is not over yet. As we close this Toastmaster year, our focus for the next 6 years will be on helping clubs host online meetings, support all clubs in achieving their goals and their educational membership goals, whatever those might be, and to facilitate a smooth transition to next year's clubs and district leaders. You can see our progress towards our district's goals below. We still have time to make a difference. 6 weeks is a long time still, and we can do it. I invite all of you to partner with me and all of the district leaders and each other to finish this year strong and empower each other to excellence. Thank you. Are there any questions? Are you all trying to make me cry? Thank you, everyone. I wasn't going to cry, but now I feel like it. Gotta find my script now. I lost it. 1 second. You can always count on Toastmasters to not only be there for you in the tough times, but also make you feel the feels. We will now move on to announcements to close out our meeting way ahead of schedule. So I'm giving you tons of time back. And I want to thank you all for this because we couldn't have done that without everyone's participation and efficient use of this meeting. I want to confirm that we have our candidates here. Let's see. Gavin, can you confirm that our candidates are in? Don't think they're here, yes. Okay, great, thank you. All right, we have both candidates for our International Director of Region 2, which is the region in which we reside. And they are going to speak to us about their candidacy. Can we display the slide with their names, Katrina? Thank you. Our two candidates for International Director of Region 2 are Todd Henry, Distinguished Toastmaster and past District Governor of District 57 and past Region Advisor, and Karen Marie Lucas, Distinguished Toastmaster and past District Director of District 100. We will hear 2-minute speeches from each candidate in alphabetical order. Again, same rules apply as before. It's a strict 2 minutes, so at the red, time will be muted. Please welcome past District Governor of District 57, past Region Advisor, and candidate for International Director, Region 2, Todd Henry. Todd?
Can you hear me, Kitsy?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'm just checking. Greetings, District 4. It's a privilege to be here today. Dr. Smedley started our great organization years ago with the intention of helping people. And look what we've done through this epidemic. We've helped one another. We've encouraged people. We've been a positive force in the environment, no matter the circumstances. And that's the benefit of being a Toastmaster. None of us gets here by ourselves. Kitsy is district director. You had people helping you. I've had numerous people helping me. Some are on this screen call right now. I want to pay this forward for the people that have helped me so that everybody that walks in the door of our clubs has the same opportunities. I've been a Toastmaster for 11 years, served every club role, served all the district leadership roles, been a past regional advisor. I have a distinct record of excellence and success throughout all those roles. That's something that I like to share with other people. As a past regional advisor, I helped teams at other districts and international teams. Same thing, helping our members do better by being a member of our group. I'm a business owner, I've been a corporate executive, and it's amazing the skills that you use in Toastmasters and in the business world. They're interchangeable. I want to use those skills from Toastmasters and the business world to help our organization as it evolves. I'm asking for your support. Please vote Todd Henry for International Director. Together, we do make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Next, we have past District Director of District 100 and candidate for International Director, Region 2, Karen Marie Lucas. Karen.
Have you ever provided a lasting value and left a legacy? It's thrilling. Fellow friends, Toastmasters, and district leaders, our cosmic fate finds us growing together here in this time and place, deliberately, strategically, automagically. The greatest gift I've ever received from Toastmasters has been the opportunity to serve. I am grateful for the guidance and the relationships cultivated in your district, inspired to see your service in action to our members. 12 years seems only like a moment ago when my service began, emerging from Founders District, laying the groundwork for District 100. Our legacy of service to others transformed me. This compels me to continue developing collaborative teams, discovering best practices, and strive to create a more equitable experience for all Toastmasters worldwide. Working together lays the foundation for our Toastmasters legacy. Integrity, respect, service, and excellence are timeless values embedded into the DNA of all that we create. We are the future. We are where leaders are made. Let's elevate every member and every club together. Let's build it and own it together. My time, energy, and dedication are yours for the taking. Standing before you, I am asking for your vote of confidence as an international director, a global voice who will continue to work for and with every member from Fremont to Florence. Vote Karen Marie Lucas for Region 2, International Director.
Thank you, Karen. We will now move on to other announcements. I'm going to recognize our District Leadership Committee Chair, Stephanie Chow, for announcements about that. And I think we have a accompanying slide, maybe, I don't remember. Katrina, if we do,
put it up if you. Thank you, Kitsy. We have some appointed positions that are available. I was just in the middle of tallying up how many confirmed confirmed applicants we have for area director positions. There is always a chance to serve in this community, and I'm in constant awe of how often and how many people want to continue giving back to Toastmasters and continue growing their skills. To do so, you don't have to be elected in a role. As you saw today, all of the elected officials are going to have their own committees. So if you would like to express interest and chat with me about some of the different opportunities, you can see this up on the screen here. Just want to highlight that self-nominations are accepted and encouraged. If you need a little encouragement, let me know, and you can email me. I believe, what is my email? d4leaders@d4tm.org, or you can private chat me and I will reach out to you via email.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'll now call up Kalidas to share upcoming events.
Sorry about that. I had some trouble with my computer, unmuting myself. Now, as I said earlier, we are in the home stretch of our Toastmasters year, which ends on 30th of June. So between now and June 30th, these are the three main events. We have one more actually. On May 23rd, we have a webinar coming up, which would be conducted by Lisa Vance. Then we'll have our Toastmasters year hit the crescendo with our district contest. May 30th, please mark your calendars, 8:30 to 1:30 p.m. The last webinar of the year would be on June 30th of this year, which would be conducted by Roberta Guys. And we have one more webinar, which would be conducted sometime in the middle of June. The details are in the works. So please mark your calendar for all these dates. And please keep visiting d4tm.org for details. Back to you, Kitsi.
Thank you, Kalidas. I also want to remind everyone, I think this went out in an email earlier this week, that May 23rd is also the deadline for submitting your educational awards if you want to be featured in the program, our conference program. I'm going to recognize next, I don't think we have slides for this, Aubrey Carrier.
Thank you, Kitsi, and thank you everyone for attending the meeting today. I know what you're thinking. What an incredibly complex meeting with so many moving parts, yet so smoothly run, so well organized. It's over an hour ahead of schedule. How did they do it? Well, we had a lot of help. We have a system, Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure. Thanks to our parliamentarian, Catherine Pratt, for helping organize the meeting, making sure everything was in order, using these guidelines to make sure that the meeting was conducted properly and smoothly. If you would like to know more about Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure, how you can make your meetings more effective and efficient, there is a club for that. Point of Order. We study Robert's Rules of Order. We learn it, we use it, we love it. Our next meeting is coming up this coming Tuesday on May 19th, and we are meeting online. I'm going to put the link to the club in the chat to everyone. So if you are interested in learning more about how to run meetings like a pro, please check it out.
Thank you, Aubrey. Are there any other announcements from the council? Any member of the council that wishes to make an announcement? Please type in the chat to be recognized. And also feel free to post links to your clubs in the chat if you're meeting online and want other members to check it out. This is a great time for all of us to learn more from each other. Any other announcements? I'll pause for a minute. Some people might be thinking or typing. Thank you for the question, Ying, president of, please, let's keep video off. Thank you. So the question was related to COVID-19 and the extension of clubs meeting virtually. At this time, that is the date. Actually, I think our regional advisor is still here. Jessica Allen, are you here? And do you want to address this question?
In my opinion, we had a successful year.
Let's see if she's here. She might not be.
West LA.
Can whoever that is mute? Okay, sorry. I thought. All right, 1 second. Got it. Okay. So at this time, the extension has not changed, but my understanding is that Toastmasters is monitoring the situation and will provide additional guidance. We have not received that official guidance just yet. However, when we do, we will be sending that out to all the clubs. So just hang tight on that. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty around all this right now. Toastmasters is aware of that as well, and things are literally changing day to day. We hear new updates weekly, if not more often. So as soon as we hear those, we will report back to you. You're always also welcome to reach out to Toastmasters International directly with any concerns or suggestions. They do listen to that, and the more people that write in with suggestions or concerns, the more likely it is that a change will happen. So please submit those directly to them as well, and we will keep you informed as we hear more. Thank you. Mark Prince, what is the process that International uses to make that determination? I'm not sure. So all I know is that the board of directors, which includes the international directors that we heard about some candidates today, as well as the international officers, they are meeting regularly to discuss the different options. Some of this has to do with things that are in the bylaws. If it's a bylaw, then they have to meet and actually amend that or make exceptions. So it's not as simple as we think sometimes, because they can't just decide whatever. They have to go through the process. So they do have to meet as a board, bring up issues. And my understanding is that they are meeting very regular these days, I think daily even, to address all the issues as they come up. Where am I? Okay. All right, I'm trying to keep up with all these. Okay, thank you. Yeah. From Robin, how will we handle new offers installation in June, July, still on Zoom for meetings? I'm guessing you mean, Robin, do you mean district or club installations? Either way, if we're still meeting via Zoom, we'll need to adjust and switch us to an online format. And you can still do a lot of the ceremony, if you will. We may not be able to present a pin in person perhaps, but the promise and the responsibilities that happens, that can still happen via Zoom. Thank you, Carol, for the note that we're nearing the green for discussion here. Any other questions or announcements? All right. Oh, okay, this is our last question here. At this time, we are not providing that. We have reached out to Toastmasters, and this is not something that they're providing at this time. We will keep you posted if anything changes regarding Zoom accounts. This is really a club level thing. So I encourage you to, as a club, figure out what you would like to do. There's also other free options that you can explore. Just to be clear, Zoom is not the official thing. Every club is welcome to use whatever works best for them. All right. And we do have, if you go to, so related to online meetings in general, we have a lot of these resources on our website. So if you go to d4tm.org, you will be able to see all of our meeting resources there with suggestions of other platforms that you can use as well. Thank you, Joe, for the suggestion. He just posted on there that Google Meet is an option that's free, and it's incorporated into Gmail. And there's many other options as well. So I encourage your clubs to maybe set up a committee, another leadership opportunity for someone to explore different options that will work for the club size, for your club size. All right, we are nearing the end of our meeting here. Thank you so much for your participation today. And I want to extend a special thank you to everybody that helped make this meeting possible behind the scenes today and prior to today, because as Aubrey mentioned, this was a team effort and something that took weeks, months of planning. Our tech chair, Katrina Myers, thank you. And you guys can turn on your video. The people I'm calling can turn on your video to be recognized. So Katrina Myers, our tech chair, thank you so much for everything. You are very busy behind the scenes. Thank you. Gavin Schultz for monitoring our chat and feeding me all the questions. Our timers, Lauren and Carol. I know we didn't see Carol, but she was behind the scenes timing our bigger blocks of time. Our credentials chair and his team, Tony DeLeon, who did a fantastic job. We not only met, but we exceeded quorum. So thank you so much. Our ballot canners, Noemi Gonzalez and Laura Hines. Our election body support and really all around technical support and emotional support and all kinds of support, Stephanie Chow, our immediate past district director. Our parliamentarian, Catherine Pratt, who we spent many hours poring over this script and how we best to do all these procedures and have an efficient meeting. And it shows by us getting done an hour early. Administration manager, Shanta Mohan, who documented this whole meeting and casted our ballots. And all of you for being here. I want to thank also all the speakers, our program quality director, Kalidas, and district director-elect, our club growth director and program quality director-elect, Tim Carlisle, our public relations manager, Stephen Chen, Aubrey Carey as our alignment chair, Noemi as our minutes chair. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. Who else spoke today? Oh, Stephanie, I already thank you. See, I got to thank Stephanie for everything. So she's done so many things. And lastly, thank you to the entire district council. Oh, thank you, Natasha, as well for her finance report, and Gavin Schultz for his audit report. So many reports. I don't know how we did this so quickly. Thank you to all the district council members for being here today, for voting, participating, and showing up and taking part in this meeting. This is the democratic process. We couldn't have done it without you. But most of all, thank you to all of you for your leadership through this time and always, because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. And you have shown that today and throughout the whole year, dealing with everything that we've dealt with and still keeping your clubs going and supporting your members. That's what we're here for. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you on the 23rd for the webinar and the contest on the 30th. Everybody feel free, yeah. If anybody wants to turn on their cams now, we can do that. Thank you, everyone. We can stop recording, I think, at this time as well. Oh man, all the